Hi, welcome in the next part of my Angular series. Today we will be talking about creating components and routing between them. Also, I would like to ask you for liking the video and subscribing to my channel. I think it's all, so let's get started. First thing we have to do is create a new application. So let's navigate to the location where we want to create our application. In my case, it will be disk D, YouTube, and it will be Angular. Okay, so we are in the location. Now using CLI we have to generate new applications, so we type ng new and the name of our application will be to-do app. And after a few seconds CLI should generate basic application for us. Actually, it took over 2 minutes, not only a few seconds. So now we can navigate to our application and run it. So we change the directory to the name of our application. So it's to do app. And after this, we can try to run it. So type ng-serve with the flag open to open it in the browser. And now after building the application, it appears in the web browser. Now let's open the project folder in the Visual Studio Code. Go to the file, open folder, and we select our application folder. By opening our project folder, we stopped our application, so let's start it again. So let's type ng-serve --open. Start it again. And it should appear in web browser. Here it is. Okay. So in the first place, let's get rid of this default content. So let's go to the source folder. After this, we go to the app folder. And over here is our main component. And this is the view controlled by our main component. So we go over here and we delete this. And after saving, it should be reloaded and we have clear sight. Now let's include some Bootstrap to our application. We can do this in two ways. First way is to download all the Bootstrap files and put it inside the assets folder. Second way is to use CDN, and that stands for Content Delivery Network. And this is what we will do. To do it, we have to go to the Bootstrap site. So let's type Bootstrap for CDN in the web browser. And it will be here, I believe. So now let's copy this link over here. And let's go to our main index.html file and let's paste it over here in the head tag. Okay. To make our site responsive, we will also need these scripts over here. So let's copy it and let's paste it in the bottom of the body tag. Okay. For now, we have everything we need. So now let's grab some navigation for our app. So let's go and Google Bootstrap for nav. And we will grab some navigation from Bootstrap. I think the simple one will be best for us. We will take this one. Okay, and now we will go to our main component and it's here. And paste it. Okay, so now if we save the file and go to our application, we can see that we have the navbar over here. We have the burger menu with some options for smaller views, and for bigger one we have also some options. So as you can see, it's fully responsive. Okay, we don't need these cards anymore, so let's close it. Now we have the navigation, but we don't have components to navigate between them. The first component we will create is the home component. So first I will split the terminal over here, and we just type ng generate component home, and it will be a welcome page for our application. And as you can see, it's over here. Next component will be the component with the list of to-dos. So we will call it to-do-list. And the last component we will use will be the contact component. So we will call it contact. Okay, so now we have all the three components we need. But now also we need the routing module, which will be responsible for routing in our application. So let's generate one. First thing we have to do is type ng generate, and now instead of component we type module, because it will be module. Now the name of our module will be app routing, and now also we will use the flag flat. So our module will be put inside the source app folder instead of its own folder. And also we will use flag module and assign app to it. So our routing module will be registered inside the import array of our root module. So as you can see, here is our routing module. And if we go to our app module, over here inside the import array is app routing module. So it's already registered and we don't have to do it manually. For now, we can close the second terminal and we can go to the routing module and create some routes. First thing we have to do is to import all the necessary things. So the first and the most important thing is to import router module and also routes. So we can define routes for our application, and it is inside the Angular router. And also we have to import our components inside the routing module. So the first component is home component, and it is inside the home folder and home component. And we have to do the same for the rest of the components. So the next one is the to-do list component, and it is inside the to-do list folder. Okay, and the last one is the contact component. And it's inside the contact folder, and it's like this, but we have some error and do not why. Oh, a little typo. So it will be component like this. Okay. So now we have all the necessary imports, and now we can create the array of our routes. So we type const routes. It's the name of our array, and it will be type of routes. And this is type which we imported over here. And now we are creating array, which one will consist of JSON objects. So the first route in our array will be responsible for default route. So it will be path, and it will be empty string. And if the application gets the empty string, we want to redirect to the home, and we want to match entire path. So we type path match full. So we have the default route for our application. Now we have to define the routes for our components. So we create new object and we type path. And now we set it to home. So if our application gets home, we want to display component, home component. And we also have to do the same for the other components. So again, we type path. And now if the application gets to-do list, we want to display component to-do list. And the last one will be the contact component. So if the application gets contact, we display contact component like this. Also, we have to put the semicolon over here. We have to do two last things in our routing module. The first one is to initialize our router module. So we have to use router module class and call on it the method for route. And inside we pass our array with routes like this. And also we have to export our router module outside. So we type exports. It's the array, so we use square brackets. And inside we have to export our router module, so it will be visible outside. Okay, and also come over here. So we have our routes defined. Now we have to navigate to them. So we go to the app component.html. Over here, using HTML anchor tags, we have to navigate to our routes. So we can't use href attribute. We have to change it to the Angular directive. So we have to type router link and assign the home path. And home is okay because we have the home component. We have to do the same for this one, but over here we will navigate to the to-do list and we will call it to-dos. Okay, and the last one we have the I can type. We have the contact path and it will be the contact button, and we don't need this one over here. We also can change this title over here. So we go over here and we change it to, let's say, to do app, and it will navigate to the home. So we type /home and we have to change this attribute to the Angular directive. Okay. We have one last thing to do over here, and it is to define where our components should be displayed. And we can achieve it by using Angular directive, which is router outlet. And basically, instead of this router outlet will be rendered component associated with the path we call. So if we save it, you can see that we have the home path and the home component is displayed. If you go to the to-dos, the to-do list component is displayed, and it is also the same for the contact. So we have the navigation. Now we can change the content of our components. So let's say first one will be home component, and let's go to the view associated with our home component, and also let's change the view to home. Okay, so we will use some Bootstrap component that is called Jumpatron, and we will copy this code over here from the get-bootstrap.com, and let's paste it instead of this paragraph. And if we save it, Here's our Jumbotron. Now let's change a little bit the content of this Jumbotron so it will better fit our application. Let's say welcome on the to-do app over here. I have prepared some text, by the way, to save some time. I'll copy this thing over here. Okay, and also we'll copy this. It's just some HTML stuff, and also this link. And as you can see, now it's okay. And as you can see over here, we have also the link to the to-do list. So if we click it, it will do exactly the same if we click this one. Great. Also, let's jump over here and change it to this. Okay. Now let's take care of the contact component. But before we do this, let's include some font or some styles. So we go over here. We copy this link. Now we have to go to the index.html, and inside the head tag we have to link the styles so we can use the icons. Okay, and now I have prepared some code. So let's go to the contact view, and over here I'm just using some Bootstrap classes and some hyperlinks to my social media. And to make it look better, I have also some styles. So we paste it over here, save it, and this one too. And if we jump to the contact now, we have the social media. For example, if we click the YouTube button, here's the code for the channel. And this is the same for the Facebook and Twitter. The last component, called to-do list, will be displaying the list of to-dos. So let's go and prepare some data for this. But before we do this, let's create a new folder called classes. And inside we will create new file called todo.ts. And over here we will create the class for our to-dos. First we will use the export to make our class visible outside. And now we type class and the name of our class to-do. And our to-do will have two properties. First one will be ID with the type of the number. And the second one will be task with the type of string, like this. Okay. So now we can create some data. So we go to our to-do list component. And first thing we have to do is to import our class. So we type import. And we want to import to-do. And to-do will be one level up, classes folder, and the to-do. Now let's create array, which one will hold the to-dos. It will be constants and will be called to-dos with the type of the to-do, which one we imported over here, but it will also be the array. And we are initialize our array with the following objects. I will copy some objects inside the array. And also we have to close the array. So we have the 4 positions with the ID from 1 to 4 with different tasks like do shopping, wash the car, etc, etc. Now we have to pass our array to the class, and we are doing this way. So we will create to-dos. It is the variable with the type of to-do array. So the type must be exactly the same as this one over here. When we are initializing our array with our to-dos we have created above over here. From now we can use this to-dos name, which holds the data from here, inside the view of our component. So let's go to the component and let's delete this stuff. First, let's create a div with the class container. I'm using some emmet over here, by the way. And inside, let's create h1 tag. And let's say it will be my to-dos list. And under this, let's create an ordered list with the class list group. Okay, and over here we will create li element with the class list group item. Okay, and now we want to display every single to-do from the array. To achieve this, we have to use Angular directive that is called ng4. So we type asterisk ng4, and over here we are basically using for loop. First thing we have to do is to declare a variable. So we type let to-do of collection to-dos. So we loop over the to-dos collection, which one we have created inside the class of our component over here. So this ng4 will repeat a li element and everything inside as many times as many items in the collection we have, and in every single iteration we can reference to each object using this to-do variable over here. To make use of this to-do variable inside the HTML, we have to use double curly braces, and in the Angular it is called interpolation. And now we can use the variable to-do, and we know that every object of the class to-do has two properties, ID and the task. So we can get access of these properties using dot notation. So we type the to-do dot ID, and next to it we do exactly the same, and we are accessing the second property that is called task. And if we save it, the list of the to-dos appears over here. Now let's try to make it look better using some span elements and also Bootstrap classes. So let's type span and let's give to it some classes like batch, batch pl, and batch primary, so it will be blue. Those are just some Bootstrap classes, and let's move this inside the span, and let's do exactly the same for the second property, but I will use some custom class. Okay, and I also have some styles prepared to make it look even better. Save it, and now it looks awesome. So guys, we have created 3 different components. One responsible for displaying a list of to-dos, second one for displaying welcome page, and the one responsible for social buttons. For now, our user interface is not allowing us to add new to-dos, edit existing one, and delete to-dos, but we will try to change it in the next video. In the future, we will also try to fetch to-dos from the external API, and we will try to provide a basic CRUD for them. For now, we will stick to this solution with the array of to-dos because it's the easiest one, and we will go to the more complex solution later. I want to do one more thing today in this video, and it will be adding footer to our application. To do it, we have to go to the root component, which is app component.html, because we want to display our footer on every page. So we go under the router outlet, and we will use some tags with the Bootstrap classes. So we use footer with the footer class. Inside we create a div with the container class, and inside we create span element with the text muted class. And over here we can type some content. We type copyright. We use HTML entity 2018 / code port. And if we save it, here is our footer. But as you can see, our footer is taking a lot of space. So to change it, we have to type some styles. And to do it, we have to go to the global styles of our application over here. First thing we want to do here is to add some styles to the HTML. And the first thing we want to do is to set minimum height to be always 100%. And also we want to set the position to be relative. Now we want to style a footer. So we type footer, not footer. And over here we want to set the position to absolute. And we want our footer to be on the bottom. So we set 0. We want it to 100% width. We will set height to 60 pixels. The background color will be something like this. And also we'll add line height, make some space between the border and the text. And I have a little type over here. Okay, let's save it. And as you can see, our footer is now over here. By setting position relative on the HTML, any element inside the HTML will be positioned relative to this HTML. So by setting position absolute on the footer, we can move the footer to the bottom of our HTML using bottom 0. Now if we play a little bit with our application, we can see that if we do something like this, footer is not disappearing now, and it's disappearing somewhere over here. So we can do one more thing. We can add to the body margin bottom and set it to the height of our footer. So now if we save it, you can see that it starts to disappear over here, so we see the content of our component. Okay guys, we have created today Angular application with some basic functionality, and it looks good. This is all for today. Remember to subscribe to my channel and like the video because it helps me out. See you next time.